for all the wonders of the sport that is MMA, a sport where anything can happen. Oh, and normally what we mean by that is even if the guy is miles and leagues above the other guy in so many aspects, it just takes one punch to change the fight, to knock the other guy out. It can change in a second. The fight doesn't have to be completed perfectly for the whole time. That's normally what we mean. We mean that Leon Edwards can land that head kick late in the fifth round, even though if he was behind against Kamaru Usman. What we don't normally mean is that a guy most people consider a journeyman with pillow hands can outbox and outstrike a striking master for 25 minutes. But that is exactly what happened Saturday night when Sean Strickland beat Israel Adesanya, who I think was a minus 670 favorite. And it was a masterclass by Strickland. I am so impressed. It was one of those performances where you just look and scratch your head how no one was able to crack this code before. I'm not sure how much its styles make fights. In hindsight, as we'll get to, there were some clear advantages and things he had going for him. I'm not sure how much it was going to train with Alex Pereira, the guy who knocked him out and knocked Izzy out once and had beaten him twice in kickboxing. But he does two things simultaneously so well: constant forward pressure, pushing Izzy onto the back foot and trying to pin him against the cage, while being incredibly defensively sound. Mostly in two areas: really aware of the high kicks whenever they're coming, and preemptively checking his leg every time Izzy might throw a leg kick. It was something he figured out, Adesanya, right at the start of his championship reign after the Romero fight, that his range and his ability to whip those kicks onto the calf were an incredible weapon that almost no one could deal with. And if they were on guard for them, that would really open up the hands. And that really set the tone for how he fought a lot of those championship fights. Strickland, he's pushing forward. He's watching the head kicks. He's not overly biting on the feints. He's keeping Izzy on the back foot. And every time Izzy turns, every time Izzy moves, every time Izzy is thinking he might throw a leg kick, Strickland's lead leg was already in the arrow and there was no target for Izzy to hit. And in that first round, you could tell he wanted to set up that punches with the kicks. And because the kicks weren't landing, he threw like 3, 4, 5 punches that round. I don't think any landed. A 1-2 lands for Strickland in the last minute of the round after Strickland himself didn't throw much in the first 3, 4 minutes. But all that pressure set him up. A really clean, square right hand on the jaw that knocked Izzy down, and a scramble that ensued with so many shots that throws me into another conundrum of when is the right time to stop an MMA fight, because a lot of the signs there, but Izzy completely fine at the end of the round. Just another fun, confounding thing. A lot of credit to Adesanya. He realized he wasn't throwing his hands. He was walking too far backwards. He fixes those two things in the second round, starts throwing more, makes an effort to get on the front foot to push forward, not let himself be mowed down, starts finding a little more success with the kicks as well, takes that second round. But then Strickland gets back to it. I think he realizes he has to accept a couple kicks, because if he's always worrying about the kicks, it's harder for him to find the times to throw his hands, but he does enough balance of not letting the kicks accumulate and damage him and landing with the hands. And in the next 3 rounds, just walking Izzy down with pressure, he manages to sting him, to clip him, and to hurt him bad in each round, winning all of them, I thought, very decisively. Even that second round was almost a toss-up, like nudged Izzy's way, I guess, but not decisive at all. And then somewhere in those last 3 rounds, Strickland simply breaks Adesanya in a way that I have not seen happen in the octagon. Like, Izzy just had no answers. He had no idea what to do. He was tired. He was hurt. He was being pushed backwards. And the striking chess master with the incredibly deep bag, who's a master of angles and setups and feints and finding a way, gets outclassed and has nothing left, and breaks down. And like Strickland just keeps piling on the pressure, piling on the damage. It makes you think back to that Kelvin Gastelum fight about the wrestler with the constant pressure, with the awareness to stay just defensively sound enough. I mean, Strickland obviously did it 10 times better, not a mark on him throughout the fight, a bigger frame. And I don't think Izzy had hit his full championship potential in prime at the time of the Gastelum fight. Um, but a really interesting blueprint on how to beat the now 35-year-old Adesanya has been set. And there's a new UFC middleweight champion. Let's hope Dricus Du Plessis gets the next title shot.
Wow, what a result. Wasn't expecting it.
Anything can happen, and in more ways than one.
You know, another villain to cheer against. Is it, I mean, great timing with the UFC WWE merger this week.
I'm not letting myself think about that.
All right, finishing up here.